be the best word for it would be odd. Things that you just wouldn't use, things that you wouldn't normally use during your normal day of doing business, as far as, you know, the basics: running reports, processing sales, booking and unbooking appointments, things like that. You know, those are the things that you do on a regular day-to-day basis, and then suddenly you discover, hey, there's a lot more that this software can do. And that's what this class focuses on a little bit, some of the things that most people are unfamiliar with. So let's get started. The first thing, well, first I want you to know that I am recording the class.
Perfect.
And also, as I said, if anybody does join in, we're going to immediately morph back into the other class. But here we go. The first thing we're going to talk about is emailing staff. And if I go into, there's two different places to do it. The first is in the staff file itself. So if I go to Setup and I select Operator Files, and in your case, it could say something like Stylist Files or Esthetician Files or Therapist Files. Don't worry about that. It's something like Operator Files, and that's where you have your staff. Any staff member will have an email field. So if you want to be able to use this messaging system through the software, you must have their email on file. Then I'm able to click on this button that says Message. And that pulls up this window with their email address already populated. Now I can write a subject and a message and hit Send, and off the email goes directly to my staff member. Now the real nice thing about this is that this little button here that says Select All, or this box that just has the list of all of my staff. So for instance, if I wanted to send a message to maybe 7 or 8 people, but it's the same message, I would check off the names of the people I want to get, create the message, and send. If I just want to send it to this one person, I don't need to do anything other than put in my subject and message and send. If this is going to be company-wide, hey, don't forget about Friday's meeting at noon, I hit Select All. Everybody's emails will be populated, subject, message, and send. So that's one place to do it. Another is in the appointment book. I can right-click on any staff member and select email, and it's exactly the same thing, no difference. Now, that leads us into the next thing, which is the client file. In the client file, we also have that option, Message. And if I click on that, it brings what appears to be the same window. Notice there's no additional box over here to select other clients. Okay. This is a one-on-one message directly to your customer. It populates their email field. You put it in your subject, your message, and hit Send. Now, one of the differences between this and what your staff gets is that your staff just gets a regular email. Subject, message, done. Your client, if you were communicating with them this way, it will have your logo on it. It will have your social networking icons on it. Because, again, anytime you send an email to a client, you want it to look nice.
Right.
So, now, there is another option for communicating with clients and or staff, but that is if you are using the app. If you are using the app, then you have a direct, basically it's like texting, but it's through the app. So if your customers have downloaded your app and it's on their smartphone and you send a message to them, they'll get an alert on their smartphone that they've received a message from Skin by Design. And they can click on it, read the message, they can even respond, and in your software, you will get an alert that you have just received a message from a customer, and you'll be able to go back and forth with them right through the software and the app. Your staff can do the same thing if they are using the staff version of the app. They can communicate that way as well. Essentially, it replaces texting with something called push notification. So I just want you to be aware that that exists.
And so when I have that on my phone and I don't have my laptop open, say I'm in a different location, I'll still get those push notifications on my phone from a client? Or do I have to be on the computer?
No. It's not app to app. It's app to software, software to app.
But won't I have an administrative app version on my phone?
You have a staff app that is going to allow you to check your schedule, book appointments, do all sorts of things like that, see what your numbers are for the day, etc. But communicating directly to a client through your smartphone is smartphone to the software, software to the smartphone. It is not app to app. No.
So the push notifications will only work if I'm on my laptop?
That's right. Mm-hmm. If that's where your software is, that's exactly right.
Okay.
Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is social analytics. Again, something that most people are very unfamiliar with. I'm going to go here into reports, and from reports, I'm going to go to graphs. In graphs, on the bottom of graphs, I have social analytics. So I click on that, and it brings up, well, in this case, it brings up a window that says you're not authorized for this because I don't have one set up for this particular account. So yours would say the same thing until you set yours up. Once you do, it will look something like this. You'll click on that, and it'll automatically bring up a page like this. Your social analytics allows your Transcend software to interface with your Facebook and your Twitter, your Instagram, things like that. And essentially what it does is it takes all of the analytics that are out there and it puts them into a single sheet for you so that you're able to see what's working for you and what's not working for you. What posts are getting the most hits, the most engagement, the most likes, the most shares, things like that, the most comments. Also, what the demographics are. Is it women that are communicating with you or liking this or sharing it, et cetera? Is it men? Is it children? The age ranges, et cetera. So you get your demographics. And so you're able to say, for instance, hey, I did a post on ABC and I had 430 impressions. And I did a post on EFG and I got 30 impressions. What's the difference between them and why was one so much more popular than the other? So it allows you to do things like that. And if you set that up, we teach you how to read each one of these screens, of course.
Oh, great.
All right. The next thing that we're going to talk about is the activity button in inventory. Now, this activity button has been part of the software for 14 years. 14 years. And you would be surprised how few of our customers have ever used it or have any idea that it even exists. It's just amazing. When I'm teaching this class and we've had people who've been using the software for years and years and they want to see what's new, talk about the activity button and they say, I had no idea. How long has that been there? Oh, what a neat new feature. No, it's been there forever. So pull up a product and there is a button here that says activity. This activity button allows you to see everything that's been going on with that product. So under the All button, Received Only, Sales Only, Returns, and Adjustments, all shows everything. Received shows all of the purchase orders that have included this product. Who created the PO, perhaps who voided the PO, what the date of the PO was, the number of the PO, etc., how many were ordered on that PO. Sales allows you to see every sale that was done for that product, all the way back in time. In fact, as you can see, my first one here, September 25th of 2008, and my last one, August 25th of 2017. If you are using password protection on sales, like I had activated on this day back in 2010, it shows me that Debbie made the sale. If I am not using password protection, I get a question mark that says, I don't know who did the sale, but the sale was done. I get the transaction number, I get the timestamp, etc. Returns. If any merchandise returns were done on this product, I'll get the date and time, etc., including the person who did it. And then finally, my adjustments. If you had to do a manual adjustment of the number of this product, then that adjustment will be listed on this sheet right here. So you have your physical count, and then you determine how many you actually have. And if that number does not match what your ending quantity on hand is, you can manually adjust it, and that'll be reflected there as well. Okay. So that's the activity button in inventory. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is something in the appointment book. Now, most people are familiar with how to book appointments in the day view screen. And, of course, because it's so similar, most people are familiar with how to book appointments in the week view screen. But the month view screen is very different than both, and it takes booking an appointment very differently. However, a lot of people look at that and say, you know what, I'm good with booking it on day view or on the week view. I don't need the month view. But when you start using the month view, especially if you have a fairly large staff, it becomes so easy that a lot of people just start doing it that way because they no longer have to look for openings. So let's talk about how you get there. First, if I'm in the appointment book, I can choose the button that says month view, and it brings up this month appointments window. Let's cancel that. If I'm in my main screen, I can go to appointments here and choose month view, and there it is again. If I'm in my sales screen, I can go to book appointments and choose month view, and there it is again. So you can get to it in a lot of different ways, but no matter how you get to it, it all works the same way. Going to go to my month view here, bring up the window, and now let's discuss it. How does it work? Well, first things first, it's going to highlight only those days that appointments can be booked. Well, today's the 22nd, so that's in italics, and every day after that, in this case, is highlighted. So these are the days available. Obviously, the 21st is not available. It's already passed. The 9th is not available. It's already passed. Sundays are grayed out completely because we're closed on Sundays. So it starts with, in italics, the day that you're currently on, and then shows you the dates that are available for bookings. Now, watch what happens when I choose someone like Ashley. Notice Wednesdays and Thursdays just grayed out. Why? Ashley doesn't work Wednesdays and Thursdays. She only works Sundays. Excuse me. She doesn't work Wednesdays, Thursdays, or Sundays. She only works Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. So now again, I am left seeing 4 days that she's available for the rest of this month, the 24th, the 25th, the 27th, and the 28th. I can then choose a service. Now, Ashley, I don't have set for services, so let's go with somebody who does. We'll go with Debbie here. Notice those re-highlighted because Debbie does work those days. Now, when I choose a service, like, for instance, we'll go with the back facial here. That's a 1 hour long service. Any of these days that are highlighted that have a full hour available for Debbie are still going to be highlighted. But let's say the 23rd, she had a busy day. She had a few half-hour availabilities open, and that's why it was black. That's why it was highlighted. But when I chose back facial, which is an hour long, that day may have grayed out because she doesn't have a full hour available. So when you choose your operator, it will automatically show you the remaining days that she can do it. When you choose a service or even more than one service for her, it will then, again, leave you with just the days that the appointment can be booked. Then you can choose a date, like, for instance, the 24th, and you will be given only the available times for that particular day. There may only be one available time because she's got only one full hour gap in her day. There may be two or three, or in this case, because my day is wide open, I've got a whole bunch of available times. Choose another day, again, choose another day, and you're left again with just the times that she can book. Notice on the 23rd, she can book at 11, but her next booking availability would be at 2:45. So she obviously has things booked between 11 and 2:45. Okay, so once I have the day I want, then I can book the appointment the way I normally do. I choose a customer, whoever they may be. We'll go with Shelly Habaker here. I could have hit new and added somebody brand new, and their name would now be here. I choose my client type like I always do whenever booking an appointment. For instance, they asked for Debbie, so it's a request, and book it. Now, once I have selected my date, I have to choose a time, don't I? Let's go with 3 o'clock and book it. Notice it asks me what room. In this case, a room is required. So I'm going to choose herbal. If no room is required, then it'll just say your appointment's booked and accept. The appointment has been booked. Okay, let's take a look, shall we? So let's go into our appointment book. I believe that was on the 23rd. Let's go to the 23rd, and there's Shelly Habaker with the back facial with Debbie at 3 o'clock. So it booked just fine. So I know it sounds a little bit complicated, but it is really simple. You go into your month view. You're left with just the dates available. You choose an operator. Again, you're left with their dates available. Choose a service. Again, you're left with their dates available after that service's time is taken into account. Choose a time, and you're left with the times that they can do it. Choose your customer. Choose your client type, and book the appointment. The appointment has been booked. So that's Thursday, November 23rd at 12 o'clock for Naz. And go in there. And there's Naz for the anacryl and blow dry with Kathy at 12 o'clock. Booked just fine. Okay? That's the month view screen. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is back in the appointment book again. This time, we're going to talk about locking and unlocking columns. Now, this is very helpful if you have a busy appointment book with a number of staff members. So let's say, and you can create any scenario in your head you'd like to explain why this might be. But let's just say that when you go from one group to another, as you know probably, your staff changes. Notice, if I choose nails, my staff just changed. These are the people who can provide nail services. If I choose waxing, again, it changed. These are the people that can provide waxing services and the rooms that waxing can be done in. They may not be the same. Notice Sarah is in waxing. Sarah is not in nails.
Right.
So what if I was in waxing and I'm booking appointments, et cetera, and I'm about to go to my nails group, but I want to see Sarah's appointment book for whatever reason. Again, you can create the scenario in your head. A lot of people think, I'm never going to use that. And then they find themselves realizing, ooh, I need to see that. So I need to see Sarah's appointment book.
Sorry about that.
But I know that when I jump over to nails, she's not going to be there anymore. So I can simply right-click on her box and select lock column. Now, if I go to nails, which she doesn't work in, she's still there. And I can see her schedule. Now, does that mean that she is now in the nails group? No. If I tried to book an appointment for Sarah in nails, it will tell me that this operator does not perform this service. What it's simply allowing me to do is see her schedule, even though she doesn't work in the group that I needed to go to. Does that make sense?
It does. So
now, go ahead.
Repeat that again. So what did you hit?
Okay, sure. So let me unlock it by pressing this button that says unlock.
Okay.
Notice click to clear unlocked columns, which I'll do.
Okay.
Sarah's gone. So I was in waxing. There's Sarah. Okay. I right-clicked in her box. Doesn't matter where, as long as I'm in her box. And I selected lock column. By locking her column, no matter what group I go to, she's going to come along with me. No matter what group I'm in.
Sorry, Mojo.
Until I hit the button that says unlock. And then she's gone, if she's not in that group. Do you mind if I ask what kind of dog you have?
I have a Chiweenie. And someone came up to my door and she's freaking out.
I have never heard of that type of dog, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, oh, they're the cutest in the world.
I got to ask, how do you spell Chiweenie?
I don't know, but
okay. All right. I just wanted to look it up later because I've never heard of that.
Mojo, stop.
Okay. Moving on, getting off the subject of dogs and moving on from locking and unlocking columns. The next thing we're going to talk about is refunds in the point of sale. Now, everybody's familiar with refunds. Everybody knows how to do a refund. But a lot of people don't realize some of the aspects of the refund feature. And that's why we teach it in this class. So I'm going to go into my sales screen here. And let's pull up a customer. Oh, I haven't closed. Let's very quickly close here. All right, so let's try that again. I'm going to pull up a customer. We'll go with Christine here and say that she saw Christian and she got a blow dry. Okay, Christine Habib saw Christian. She got a blow dry. She owes me $42. Now, there's a refund button up here. If I click this button, now it says refund. It's in blue and it's got the plus sign. Click it again. Now it's gray with the X. This activates the refund feature. Does that turn this into a refund? Absolutely not, because this was pulled up as a sale. So it's still a sale. However, by activating the refund feature, anything I add to this ticket will now be a refund. And I could have started it that way. So let's do that again. This time I'm going to click on refund first. Then I'm going to choose Christine and say she saw Christian and got a blow dry. And now she's getting a refund of $42. Instead of owing me that money. So let's clear that again and start over. Christine saw Christian. She got a blow dry. Okay, so Christine saw Christian. She got a blow dry. She owes me $42. And she says, I'd like to return this Justin All-in-One shampoo. Okay, so I'm going to click here and scan the product or look it up. And it was Lynn who sold it to her, so it's going to be her commission that gets tagged. And now she only owes me $19.06 because she's getting her money back for the Justin All-in-One shampoo that she's returning to me unopened. All right. So what I have done is I have thrown a refund on a ticket that includes a sale. Now I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to say she's buying this product, the BioSilver Classic Ion, for $36. Now I'm going to turn this back on, and I'm going to say that she got a, I don't know, the last time she was here, she got a bang trim, let's say, and when she went home, she realized she was unhappy with it and called me, and I said, you know what, when you come back, I'll refund you for that. So now I am mixing and matching refunds and sales on the same ticket, and it is all controlled by this button.
Okay.
Now, if the total amount is positive, like it is in this case, $48.39, and I go to payment, it's just like always. I get to choose cash or check or credit card. Every payment is going to be the same, just like you would normally do whether or not there was a refund on this ticket. However, if the amount was in fact a negative amount, so let's remove our sales here. I owe her $32.94. She's getting her $10 refund for the bang trim, and she's getting her refund for the product. She came in to return the product and get her bang trim refund. That's the only reason she came in. She's not buying anything. This is a fully negative transaction. I still need to process the transaction. And if I'm going to give her cash back, I still choose cash. By doing it this way, it will allow my drawer to recognize that $32.94 in cash has left it.
Right.
So that your drawer is accurate, and your counts are accurate, and your reporting is accurate. If it's a credit card and you are processing directly through the software, then you can ask her for the card that she used with the original purchase, and you can dump the money back onto that card. If you are not processing through our system, then you're going to do your refund through your separate credit card terminal, but you're still going to keep a record of it here, even though it's negative, so that the system knows that you lost essentially $32.94 today in credit card. So it will reduce what other transactions you did in credit cards that day by $32.94 in this case. This way, again, your reporting is accurate, your drawer is accurate. So even if it's a negative amount, you are still processing the transaction. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Now, some people don't bother with refunds like this. They don't do negative amounts. Some of our customers do something very different. So they never mess with refund. So I'm just going to give you this example. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I know that in some cases it's popular, and some consultants suggest that you do it this way too. Some people are just loath to take money out of their drawer and give it to a client. Oh, they just hate the very idea of doing that. And they want to make sure that that money is respent in their salon or spa. So what they will do is when somebody returns a product, or they get a refund on a service that they got, or whatever it may be, they will, instead of giving a refund, they will simply sell them a gift certificate or gift card for that amount. And they will sell it to them for $0. So in this case, if I owed her $32.91, then I would give her a gift card or gift certificate for $32.91. And I can sell it for $0, but it will still have that value on it. And the way we do that is this. We choose a customer, whoever it is, and we say, I'm going to sell this person a gift certificate. So let me go ahead and write this number down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 6 is my gift certificate number that I'm selling them. Now, if this is the same person, I can just click here and click them again. Also, if this information was here, I could hit this little arrow here, and it would have moved all of this information over to here. Just a simple way to save you a little bit of time, that's all. Of course, if Laura's buying it for somebody else, you can type in their name here. Now, I'm not doing a gift package. I'm just saying she's getting $32.91 as a gift certificate or gift card. And I can do my sales source if I want. I can do my sold by if I want. I'm going to say it was sold by Ashley. My sales source if I want. I don't have to. And am I going to mail it to them or not? Am I charging a shipping charge or not? I'm going to say no, do not mail. And I'm going to have the print off because maybe I activated a gift card. If my print was on, then this information will print out as simple text onto a blank white piece of paper, which is why if you're going to use paper certificates, you should have pre-made gift certificates so that this information can fill in on the gift certificate form, and we can give you the format for that. But I'm just going to go with print off and accept. Nope, don't need to. And $32.91. Okay, now, normally when somebody is buying a gift certificate, the way I'm selling it, they owe me $32.91 now. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to modify the price. Whoops, got to highlight it. I'm going to modify the price. Oh, can't modify, I got to use a discount, because that's my highlight discount. And I am going to discount it by 100%. So let's see, where is my manager's comp? There we go. And accept. 0 is what they owe me. Okay? $32.91, and I discounted it $32.91. They owe me $0. But we still go to payment. Total is for 0. Do you want to process the sale anyway? Yep. Cash, accept, done. Now, Miss Haas comes in another time, a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever. And she sees Debbie, and she gets a back facial. She owes me $65, and she would like to apply her gift certificate. So now, because I sold it through the system, it's available for use. Gift card or gift certificate, I can swipe my gift card or I can type in my number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 6, and my balance on file is $32.91. Amount tendered, $32.91. Except she still owes me $32.09, which she will pay in cash. She'll give me $40. Whoops, cash. She'll give me $40 and accept. Makes my change, $7.91, and accept. If Ms. Haas was interested, she'd be able to see the history on that card as well. When it was used, how much it was used for, etc. And I can go into her history at any time, and I can see that on November 22nd, 2017, she got a back facial. And I can view the transaction, and I can see that she paid for it with $32.91 on a gift certificate and $40 in cash, and she got $7.91 back in change. So that's another way that some people choose to not do refunds, but to do refunds. But it's not actually a refund system in the using the refund system in the software. So there you go. That's refunds. Okay. The next thing we're going to talk about, I believe that when we went over the closing, we talked about paid-ins and paid-outs, right?
I don't think so.
Okay, let's talk about it now. What are paid-ins and paid-outs? Well, when you go to close your register, that's the first thing it says. Hey, make sure you did your paid-ins and paid-outs. So a lot of people are unfamiliar with those, and they're not sure exactly how they work in the software. So Maya is my boss, and I'm working the front desk. And Maya walks up to me and says, hey, Matt, give me $20 out of the drawer. I'm going to go get some coffee. Maya's the boss. I work the front desk, and she just hired me. I would never dream of giving her a hard time about that. So I pop the drawer with a no sale, perhaps, or a key, or however you're doing it. I pull $20 out of the drawer, and I hand it to Maya, and off she goes. Well, Maya's not going to be here when I close the drawer at the end of the evening. Or maybe I'm not the one closing. Somebody else is. And when the drawer closes and they do their count and they do their deposit form, etc., they realize, oh my gosh, the drawer is $20 light. And there's no explanation for it. Why is the drawer $20 light? I know if I'm closing the drawer, that's going to upset me. Because, you know, hey, did somebody pull $20 out of the drawer and put it in their pocket? Well, yeah, Maya did, but I don't know that. So the drawer is $20 light. And it could make me look like I'm a thief. So what I'm going to do is this. When Maya says, hey, Matt, give me $20 out of the drawer, I'm going to go to register, and I'm going to go to paid outs. And I'm going to say Maya for coffee, $20, and I'm going to post it. If I'm using an electronic drawer, I can hit post and open drawer, and it'll pop my drawer automatically. I can pull the $20 out and hand it to her, and I'm done. And guess what? There's now a record that that $20 left my drawer. So when I close, I'm not $20 light. Does that make sense?
It does.
That's a paid out. Now, let's do that in reverse. Maya walks up to me a few days later, and she says, hey, talk to my accountant. And the accountant says it's a really bad idea to use the drawer as petty cash. So Here's the $20 I borrowed from it. She hands it to me and I stick it back in the drawer. Guess what? When I close at the end of the day, or when somebody closes at the end of the day, the drawer is going to be $20 over.
Right.
I need an explanation for that. That's a paid in. Register, paid in. Maya paid back for coffee, $20 post or post an open drawer. There's now a record that $20 extra has been placed into the drawer. My drawer is no longer over. Make sense?
It does.
That's paid ins and paid outs. Okie doke. The next thing we're going to talk about is transaction notes. Now, there is a staff member here named Debbie, and Debbie is terrific at what she does. She just is a great employee at what she does, actually providing the services, and the customers love her for what she does. And that's why Maya will never dream of firing her. But Debbie is the biggest pain in the butt ever, because Debbie's got a terrible memory. She's always anal about her commission reports and is the first person to yell and scream if she thinks for a moment anything is wrong with the amount of money she's being paid. So why do I create that scenario for you? Because we're going to talk about transaction notes now. So a customer comes in, Scott here, and he saw our favorite Debbie, and he got a chest wax, $50. Okay. And let's say that Debbie gets 50% of a $50 chest wax, so she would normally get $25. Now, Debbie comes up to me at the front desk. I'm new at the front desk here, and Debbie says, hey, Matt, you know, when I did the chest wax, left it on a little bit too long, and when I pulled it, it left a little bit of a rash because it took a little bit of skin with it, and I hurt him. And I promised him I'd give him 50% off. So take care of that for me. Sure thing. So I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to modify the price. Of course, I could have applied a coupon as well, but I'm going to change this to $25 and accept. Now, I can go to payment, and I can accept his $25 and process it through, just like Debbie asked me to. But I'm thinking to myself, you know what? In 2 weeks, when she gets her commission report, she is going to go flying off the handle that she's getting $12.50 for this instead of $25. And she's never going to remember why. And I, on my account, I do 50 transactions a day, 100 transactions a day, and in 2 weeks, that's going to be what, 1,400 transactions that I've processed? How am I supposed to remember why this was changed? Well, this is how I remember. If I make a change to a transaction, I press this button here that says Notes. And then I can say, Debbie said 50% off because blah, 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 and I accept my note. Now I accept my payment, and I just go around just like I normally do. Now, Maya comes up to me, and she says, a couple of weeks have gone by, Debbie's throwing a fit, says that she should be getting $25 on this. She's only getting $12.50. What's going on? All right, who's the customer? What's the transaction number? Let's look it up. Okay, so I can look it up by going into the customer file, or I'm going to do it the easy way right now because it was my last transaction. I'm just going to hit last transaction. So if I went into the client file, I could go to their history and look at this same thing. And I can look at this and say, okay, yeah, you're right. The chest wax was $25. Why? Click. This is why. Mm-hmm. Now I have covered myself. In other words, anytime, excuse me, anytime a transaction is odd, anytime a transaction is out of the ordinary, apply a transaction note to it for an explanation as to why that transaction is out of the ordinary. You know, why did you accept a gift certificate that was expired? Well, because Maya told me I could or should for this particular client, even though that's not normally policy. I got permission from Maya to do it because this client's a great client. Why did I discount this? Why did I modify the price? Why did it, whatever it is, there's something odd about this transaction, and if the transaction's out of the ordinary for any reason, then it's a very good idea to apply a transaction note to it. This note does not follow the client. It doesn't follow the appointment. It attaches itself to the transaction in itself. Okay?
Okay. Got it.
All right. Okie doke. All right, so those are transaction notes. The next thing we're going to talk about is modifying a transaction. How do we modify a transaction? And why would we? Okay, so let's choose somebody new here. We'll go with Keith Epstein here. Keith Epstein saw Debbie, and he got a chest wax. We're going to say more instead of last. And she also saw, let's go with something other than Botox. Melinda, yeah. So she saw Melinda, or he saw Melinda, and he got a deep pore cleansing. All right. So that's what he had done today. Also, when he was here, he purchased some product. He purchased a product from Maureen, the Justin All-in-One shampoo. Great. And he paid $100 in cash and the balance on Visa, $72.94. And accept, and accept. Now, I find out there was a mistake. Because I'm using a separate machine, perhaps, the system didn't know it was a Visa, but it wasn't. It was a MasterCard. I switched to MasterCard, but in my haste, I selected Visa. And my numbers are off.
Okay.
Okay, so that's one possible error. Another possible error was he didn't see Debbie. He saw somebody else. He was booked with Debbie, but Debbie had to run out. And instead of having her, instead of telling, oh, I'm sorry, Debbie ran out, somebody else that could do that service was available, and he didn't much care. So she saw somebody else. Well, when I processed the transaction out, maybe from the appointment book, it goes out with Debbie's name attached to it. And I, not thinking, went ahead and processed the transaction. But it wasn't Debbie who actually did it. She's going to get commission for something she didn't do.
Right.
Okay, maybe that's the mistake. Maybe the tax was wrong. Maybe the amount that was paid was wrong. Maybe anything. Think of any reason that you might think of that the transaction may be in error. So we need to fix it before we're doing our commission reports or before we're closing our drawer. But even if we closed, maybe the transaction was done 4 days ago, and that's when we found our error. So before we pay our commissions, maybe I need to fix something. So how do I do it? Well, the first thing I can do is go into the client file, or I can just pull up the transaction if I know the transaction number. Again, because this is the last transaction, I could just go to View, Transactions, and hit Last, and there it is. But if it was a couple of days ago or just earlier this morning or something like that, then I can pull up a customer like Keith Epstein here and go in his history, and there it is again. On 11/22, he saw Melinda for the deep pore cleansing, he saw Debbie for the chest, and Maureen sold him the Justin All-in-One shampoo. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it wasn't the Justin All-in-One shampoo he bought. Maybe it was a different shampoo, and I typed in the wrong SKU number, not thinking. So I need to make a change. I highlight any part of the transaction. Doesn't matter. This one, or this one, or this one. How do I know that they're all part of the same transaction and this one isn't? Because they have the same transaction number, and this one doesn't. Transaction number 253800, 253800, 253800. This one obviously is not part of it. Okay, so I highlight any part of it, and I hit View Transaction. And there's my transaction, just like I had looked at before. So there's my whole transaction, and I need to make a change. So let's say my first change is going to be changing it from Debbie to somebody else. I go to Modify. First part of the transaction. Now, this transaction has how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different parts this transaction does. This reflects only the first part of the transaction. So once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different pieces of this transaction. When I hit Modify, it brings up the first piece of the transaction. Now, all 6 pieces will have the same transaction number, but they'll have 6 different record numbers. So here I am in my transaction, and I need to say, oops, it wasn't Debbie. Click, it was Leslie who did it, and save. Now I'm going to move over to my next part of the transaction. Did Melinda do deep pore cleansing? Was it a deep pore cleansing? Is everything here okay? Yep, no problem there. Move over to the next part of my transaction. Was it Justin All-in-One? Was it Maureen that made the sale? Maybe it was a different product altogether. And I'm going to say, you know what? Yeah, this is fine, but it wasn't Maureen. It was Matthew. And save. So every time I make a change, I have to save on that piece that I made the change. I don't make changes throughout and then hit save at the end. I save each piece because each piece is separate. Then I go to the next one, sales tax. Yeah, that's right. That's good. I don't need to make any changes there. My payment, she paid with cash, $100. Great. Credit card, Visa. Oops, she didn't pay with Visa. She paid with MasterCard. So I can change this number here, and that will actually change this to MasterCard. And I can change my description to MasterCard and save. And now, as you can see, MasterCard is reflected. So I saved that, and now I'm going to cancel out. So Leslie is going to get the commission on the chest wax for $50. Melinda did the deep pore cleansing for $100. Matthew, not Maureen, sold the Justin all-in-one shampoo for $21. Cash of $100 was accepted, and MasterCard was used for $72.94. I have modified that transaction, and when I run my report, my reports are now going to be accurate because I have fixed the transaction with the errors that were in place. Does that make sense?
It does. Yep.
That is modifying a transaction. Now, can you password protect that? Heck yes. Should you? Absolutely. Why? Because if you've got a bunch of employees, the simplest way to steal money is to say, I did this instead of somebody else, especially if you did it from a few days ago. No one's going to notice one or two transactions that you changed, especially if it's a busy spa. So now they're getting the commission instead of somebody else. And the drawer's right. The reports are right. Everything is right. And on the day that it was done, everybody was happy because they got the right receipts. Everything was done. But then you go back in a couple of days later, change a name, and all of a sudden that person's getting the commission instead of somebody else. So it's a way to commit fraud. Definitely something to password protect.
Okay.
Okay. Next thing we're going to talk about, the points program. So I'm going to pull up a customer here. Michelle Babcock. She has 3,075 points. And she saw Christian. And she got a, let's go with an expensive one here, an anti-curl with haircut. She owes me $171. She got an automatic 5% discount because she happens to be a gold member. But I'm going to go here now to payment. And look, she's got 3,075 points. She doesn't want to use cash or check or credit card or gift certificate. She wants to use her points. She knows, because the last time she was here on her receipt, it shows how many points she has. I've got 3,075 points. I'd like to pay for this with my points. Okay, sure. Click. You need 3,600 points. You only have 3,075. Your points program can be set up in one of two ways, as a cash value program or as a freebie program. Let's see the way I've got it set up right now. I'm going to check this box. This is set up as the cash value program. And what that means is that she can use her points, even though she doesn't have enough to get it for free. She owes me $171. She's going to use all 3,075 points, and that's going to apply $146.06, which means that she will owe me about $25, which she will then have to pay with cash or check or credit card or whatever. But by using her points, she is actually going to apply $146.06 against this $171 that she owes me. That is the cash value method. Let's talk about the freebie method. Set up preferences. Jim, you don't need to remember this because when you decide to set up your points program, we'll help you set it up so that it's customized to you.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to payment. I would like to use my points, Matt. Sure thing. You need 3,600. You got 3,075. Well, I'd like to use those. Okay. Whoops, wait a minute. I didn't do it. Let's try that again. Setup, preferences, general. Oh, that's what I unchecked the wrong one. Check this one. Do not allow partial point redemptions. There we go. And check and click. Not enough points for this item. I'm sorry. You cannot use your points for this because you don't have enough. So even if I wasn't aware of that at the front desk that she couldn't use them, the system tells me, nope. So you're set up on the freebie system. What if she had more than that one transaction? She also saw Leslie, and she got a blow dry and curl. So now we go to payment. I'd like to use my points. Click. Okay, sure. Not enough points for this item, but she's got enough for this one. So she's going to get the blow dry and curl for free. And she'll still owe me for the anti-curl and haircut. So she gets to use her points on the one that she has enough for, doesn't get to use them on the one she doesn't have enough for. So what if she had 4 different that had 1,000 each? She's got enough for each one of them, doesn't she? Because each one of them is only 1,000, and she's got 3,600. I mean, she has 3,075. Well, she'd be able to use them on 3 of them, but on the 4th one, she wouldn't. She wouldn't have enough points for that one. So that's freebie. And again, remember, cash value means that she gets to use her points no matter how many points she has.
How do you decide what services get what points?
That's entirely up to you. Yeah, it's still entirely up to you. That's what we're about to get into now. First, I wanted you to see how the points program works.
Yeah, because I have a loyalty program now, but I just want, one of the reasons I chose this is because it would be integrated.
Sure. So let's talk about it. So I'm going to go to Setup, Preferences, General. Now again, I'm just going to give you the basics on this. And the reason I'm saying that is because when you decide you're going to set up your loyalty program the way you want it set up, someone like me, or maybe even me, will dial directly into your system with you on the phone, and we will set it up with you so that it is working exactly the way you want it to work. Everybody's is different, and that's why we do that. If it was a one-size-fits-all, well then, we could just say, this is how you do it. So I'm going to click here, and that brings up this points program setup window. Now I can do a blanket points program where I say $1 earns a point. Spend $50, get 50 points. Spend $100, get 100 points. Doesn't matter what you're spending them on. If you spend that money, you're going to get those points. Then I say maybe my point redemption is 10 to 1. Again, this is all blanket. This is my basic ratio assignments. And in this case, I'm saying if you have 1,000 points, you can get a $100 service for free. If you have 100 points, you can get a $10 product for free because you're getting 1 point for every dollar you spend, but you need 10 points to equal $1. That's the way I've set it up here. That's really basic. You don't have to do the basic way. You can say, no. I want my massages to earn points this way, but I want my nails to earn points this way. And I want my laser hair removal to earn points this way. So you can actually have, based on different groups, or even based on individual services. You can say that a specific service can earn a specific number of points and costs a specific number of points, even if it's the exact same amount as another service. So service A costs $100 and service B costs $100. But service A earns you 100 points and service B earns you 125 points. And service A costs you 1,000 points and service B costs you 2,000 points. So you can even do that on an individual service basis, or you can do it on products by category or by individual products. So you can get really complicated, or you can get really basic. Entirely up to you.
Could you do a special 1 month or for a week and say this week only we have double the loyalty points when you buy?
Absolutely, but that's not done in here. In this section, you set up your points program. Then you can set up a rewards promotion where you say something like all massages. So we're going to say, we're going to call this my December massage. And I'm going to say my factor of points is going to be 2, or maybe 3 or 4. So if I said 2, it's going to be double points. If I said 3, it would be triple points. And my effective dates are going to be from 12/01 of 17 to 12/31 of 17. And then I'm going to say massages, load. So now all of my massages loaded in. I'm going to select them. So I've selected all my massages. Nothing else, though. Just my massages. And maybe I say not the hot stone massages because they cost me too much because I have to clean the stones and it's a real pain in the neck. So everything but my hot stone. Or you could have everything. You can pick and choose. Then you can activate it. If I do this, what happens then is now hopefully I send my promotion out. I do my emails or my advertising or whatever. And I say, for the month of December, massages get you double points. So if somebody earns points and they spend $100, they would normally have gotten 100 points for that. Then if they were getting a massage during the month of November, then they spend that $100, they would have gotten 200 points. Does that make sense?
It does. Yep.
So that's how that works. So you can actually set up promotions with different factors for points. And you can do it for any date range. So you can say this weekend only, all Kerastase products, triple points. Or tomorrow only, or all of next month, or all of next year on this particular product. And that takes us into the membership now, because we've talked about points, but we haven't talked about membership.
Right.
Setup, configuration, general, rewards, membership setup. Now I've got a lot of different memberships here. I got DD Test, Gym, Bronze, Platinum, Silver, Gold. Why? Because you can have an unlimited number of memberships. They can all be different, and they can all be named something else. But I'm just going to focus on these three right now. I'm going to focus on Bronze, Silver, and Gold.
Okay.
And I'm going to say my Bronze membership is free. I just give it away to anybody who wants it. So it's free. Billing amount, 0. Discount options, nothing. Retail for service discounts, nothing. Comp service, nothing. Membership earns points, yes. So, and nothing else. So what I basically said here is that my Bronze membership, if somebody says, hey, you know, I'd like to earn points, I'd like to be part of your points program, great. Here's a Bronze membership for free. And now they're earning points because they're a Bronze membership, and the only thing the Bronze membership gives them is points. Now I'm going to choose a different one. I'm going to say my Silver membership. I'm going to say my Silver membership is $10 a month. For $10 a month, you get 2.5% off all services. And I've said it's not going to affect commission, but it can. And you get 2% off all retail. You get no comp service, but you do earn points. And as a Silver member, you earn points at a factor of 2. So you're going to earn points twice as fast as a Bronze member would. And you have no service earnings options. Nothing going on here. I'm going to explain that in a moment. So this is what the Silver membership gives me for $10 a month. 2.5% off services, 2% off retail, and I'm earning points at a factor of 2. That's my Silver membership. And I'm going to go to my Gold membership. That's $100 a month. And by the way, your options are weekly, monthly, semi-annually, or annually. So $100 a month. And I'm going to say that you get 5% off services. You get 5% off retail. You get free bang trims whenever you walk through my door. You can walk through my door 30 times a month and get 30 free bang trims. That's a comp service. It's always free. Then my points. Yes, the Gold membership earns points. They get it at a factor of 3. So Bronze member spends 100, gets 100 points. Silver member spends 100, gets 200 points. Gold member spends 100, gets 300 points, because that's the way I've set it up. Then down here, I get to say, again, annual, monthly, semi-annually, or weekly, but I'm going to say monthly. My client as a Gold member gets 1 free French manicure every month. And I've selected earns in month of purchase. By doing that, that means when somebody signs up for my Gold membership, they automatically get a free French manicure assigned to them right off the bat. If that was unchecked, they would have to be a Gold member for an entire month before they would earn their first free French manicure. But I'm saying, no, it earns in the month of purchase. So the moment they become a Gold member, they get their free French manicure. If I check this box, services accumulate. Let's say I sold them this in November, but they don't use it. Well, then in December, they've got 2 to use, and they don't use them. So in January, they've got 3 to use because services accumulate. If that is not checked, then it becomes a use it or lose it. And Patricia, can you hear my voice? Patricia, you just joined the class? No? Well, if you can hear my voice but you're not able to speak because you don't have a microphone, you can use the chat log to ask any questions that you might have. I do want you to be aware that you have missed most of the class, unfortunately. And so, but if you would like, I can send you a recording of the class. Now, I understand you signed up for the beginners class, so I would send you a recording of a previous beginners class if you'd like. If not, it's entirely up to you. But you have, unfortunately, we're near the end of the class here, and you're just joining us. So I'm very sorry about that, but just want you to be aware that you can get a copy of it. Okay, so moving on. That services accumulate. If it's unchecked, as I said, it will automatically mean it's use it or lose it. They've got one in November, they don't use it. They've only got one in December. They don't use it. They've only got one in January. Make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right. And then I'm going to skip this one, can be redeemed in half values, because we're building that right now. But this one is ready to go, can be redeemed towards other services. What does that do? Exactly what you think. They don't want a French manicure, but they've got $25 worth of value that they've earned. They want to apply that $25 to something else. They get to, if that's checked. And if it's not checked, they don't get to.
Okay.
They can only get their free French manicure if that's not checked. So that is membership. Again, when you are ready to set up your Loyalty Rewards membership program, think first, now that you've seen the basics of it, how it works, think first of how you want your program to work, and then schedule a time with someone like me. You're welcome to schedule it with me, and we will dial into your system, and we will set your Loyalty Rewards membership program up the way you want it set up. Usually takes between 30 minutes and an hour based on what your needs are.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that right away, because when I launch this, I want to be able to launch the program at the same time.
Sure, makes sense. Yeah, not a problem at all. I do want you to be aware that with the holiday schedule, I'm not going to be back in the office until Monday after I leave today.
No worries. I enjoy.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Actually, let's see. The next thing that we're going to be talking about is emailing receipts. Many clients prefer to get their receipts emailed rather than printed. So I'm going to go into clients here, and I'm going to pull up a customer, like Michelle here, and you will see a button that says email receipts. It doesn't get any simpler than that. If you've got their email address, all you have to do is have this blue. If it's gray, it will print. If it's blue, it will email.
When I talk to technical, I want them to do that to all of them, because right now that's how everybody gets everything done. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. That's another thing that they can put in across the board. Okay, so that was simple. The next one is going to be the fortune teller. I'm going to go into reports here, and I'm going to go to my goals here. I can set up operator goals for my customers, and I can view them at any time, but that's not what I'm talking about here. Today I'm going to be talking about the fortune teller. The fortune teller allows me to look at my current trends, and based on those trends, if those trends stay the same way without change, I'll be able to guess what I'll be able to be shown what my year is going to look like. The next 12 months is what I mean. Based on my current trends, and the trends are your last 3 months worth of transactions. So if you're brand new to the software, this really isn't going to work for you until you have used it for 3 months.
Right.
So how does it work? Well, I can choose an individual staff member, or I can choose all operators. When I do that, now, of course, I'm using sample data, so my numbers are grotesquely low. As you can see, it's nothing. Nothing's going on. But the point is that my top here is current. This is what's really going on. And this is what my next year is going to look like based on what's really going on. But the bottom here takes those exact same numbers and shows you the exact same figures, but then you can make changes to any one of the 7 most common items that affect your income. The number of active clients, your active client retention, your new customers per month, new client retention, how often they come to visit you each year, your average service ticket, your average retail ticket. So you get to focus on making a change to one of those. And you say, what if I did this? That would change my number of active clients from this number to that number. And by plugging that in, it will show you what it will do to your bottom line. What if my active client retention was 60% and I wanted it to be 65%? So that's where I'm going to focus my efforts. So change that to 65% and see if it's worth it. Is my effort that I'm about to put in going to make a significant difference to me? things like that. And so as you plug in new numbers, you'll be able to see what your return is going to be. So before you invest your time or your effort or your money, you're going to be able to see what that return is going to be. So the best way to think of it is like this. The consultant comes in and looks at your real numbers and says, okay, I want you've got 348 active customers, and your active client retention is 68%. The industry standard is 66%. So you're just a little bit above that. So that's good. It's not great, but it's good because you're better than the industry standard. Your new client retention is 20%, which means you're saving 1 out of 5 new customers are becoming regulars. But that should be about 33%. So your consultant says, you know what, you really should focus on saving more new customers and turning them into regular customers. So this is what I want you to do. And his plan is going to involve about 20 hours of your time, maybe making some changes up at the front with the standee, et cetera, maybe training your staff at the front desk on how to do things a little bit differently, to book pre-booking appointments and things like that, and maybe spending a little bit of money on whatever. So you take all of that into account and you say, okay, and then you go into that fortune teller and you change that number from 25 to 33, and you look at what it's going to do for you based on that. And is it going to be worth all of the effort, the money, and the time that you're going to spend in it? If he said spend $2,500 in 20 hours of your time, and you do the fortune teller and see that it's going to give you a return of about $1,000, then you just flush $1,500 in 20 hours down the toilet. Right. But if by making that change, you see it brings in another $17,000, that is really worth doing. That's a difference of $14,500 in 1 year. And I've seen everything. I've seen people make subtle changes that make an extra $100,000 a year based on the fact that they're a very large organization. And I've seen places that make that same subtle change that gives them an extra $300 a year.
Right.
What you don't want to do is get carried away with it. People like to play with the number, and you get to, of course, but people like to play with it. So, for instance, you've got 348 active customers. What if I had 5,000 active customers? Yeah, your numbers are going to be really dramatically different. I get it.
Right.
But is that realistic?
Right.
No, but going from 348 to maybe 375 or even 400 might be something that you could really work on. And right. If that difference is so significant that you're like, wow, that makes a big difference, just going from 348 to 375 makes a big enough difference that I need to focus on that. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, I like that.
Okay. That's the fortune teller. Okay, well, the class is over. There's a few things that we didn't really get to, but that's okay. You can learn them or take more classes or even view videos, etc. If you don't already follow us on Facebook, Pro Solutions Software for Salons and Spas on Facebook, I highly recommend that you do. We don't use it to advertise to you. We do, however, to talk about things like our classes, what shows we're going to be attending. We give tips, software tips, things like that. So that's definitely something that I would recommend. And then lastly, something that a lot of people are also unfamiliar with, I know I mentioned it earlier, but I'm saying this for Patricia's benefit if she can hear me, the support. Support is available on Saturdays for 4 hours, and I just don't want you to forget that because a lot of people think Monday through Friday, and then they have to wait for the whole weekend before they can ask what they think is an important question, but they don't want to pay for it by calling after hours. Remember, the first 4 hours of the day, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., that's 4 hours on Saturday, are available to you for the live chat support at no charge. That's it. That's the class. And Maya, would you like a copy of this email to you?
I would love it. Thank you so much.
Okay. And Patricia, would you like a copy of this, well, not this class, but the beginner's class that you signed up for? Would you like a copy of that class emailed to you? Okay, Patricia, let me make sure I get your email address here. Okay, I see it. BACILIO.
Could you also send me a beginner's class as well, just so I have it?
Certainly, absolutely. Okay. All right, Patricia and Maya, I will be emailing those videos out to you shortly, and have a great day. And thank you for spending time learning about the software. The people who are happiest with the software are the people who know the most about it. Have a great day, ladies.
Okay, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Happy Thanksgiving to you both. Take care. Bye-bye.